So what were some of your first steps in producing courses when you had no experience, when you were just starting out?
Yeah.
What were your first
Well,
steps in your?
that's a great question, and I found that the Facebook pages were really helpful. I actually just so the studio page, and then eventually when you become an instructor, the faculty lounge. I
Right.
found them very helpful because I found that a lot of people were having the same issues that I was having. So I actually tried to engage in as much conversation as I could so that I could get answers to my own questions. And then I just went and did a whole bunch of courses before I even started recording my own. I thought, I'm going
That's
to learn
smart.
from other people. And
Yep.
it's probably one of the first times, as you get older, there's, when you're in your 20s, everything's new. Everything you're learning is like, wow, this is just like a whole new world. As you get a bit older, there's not much, you don't have those experiences as much anymore. Well, I found with Udemy, I felt like I was back to being 15 years old going, I don't know anything about anything. People would start talking on the Facebook pages about Google Analytics, and I'm like, what on earth is that? I don't even know what that is. So I
Right.
actually just went, I'm going to go and do some of the courses myself. So there were a couple of courses that I did, and I didn't do anything until I completed them. So one was your course on Udemy marketing. Um,
Great.
Alan Hill's course was absolutely
Hmm.
fantastic. But the one that really helped me, because it was how do you create an awesome online course, was by a guy called Miguel Hernandez. I don't know if you know that course, but it's absolutely
I've seen that
fantastic.
course. Yeah.
And I think it's probably one of the best courses for people that don't know anything. So he doesn't talk about the marketing at all. It's how do you use ScreenFlow? How do you set up your lighting? How do you do sound? How do you use Keynote to create online presentations? I didn't know how to use any of those programs, and I was completely overwhelmed to
Mm.
realize I had to use them, and sometimes all at once when I was doing the sessions, doing
Right.
the lectures. And so I did that course, and then I actually even did lectures in the order that he'd done them. Like, I actually just copied everything the way he did it, because I had no idea of how to do things. So I
That's
even
great.
copied how he structured his lectures. So, for example, one of the things that he did that I really liked is he had at the beginning of every section. You do this too, I think, actually. He had an introduction lecture that maybe went for 30 seconds that just said, this is what we're going to learn in this section. And then at the end of each section, maybe 3 or 4 lections, he'd go, okay, here's a summary of what we've learnt. And the other thing that I learnt from him
Right.
too was he was funny and he was just himself. And I was quite surprised. He wasn't
Yeah.
professional, because originally when I logged into Udemy, I assumed you had to be very reserved, and I'm not like that at all. I'm a bit of a klutz.
Yeah.
I fumble over my words. I'm a joker. And so I thought, oh, I can actually be myself and do a course as myself. So I just did a bunch of courses. Then I bought a little bit of equipment. So I bought some lighting boxes, and I do have a recording studio at home. So I've got my own space that I can use. And I had a great microphone,
Perfect.
so that was all set up. But I had to buy a couple of software programs like ScreenFlow and Keynote. And then I spent maybe 6 weeks putting together the lectures. And then I did it in
Hmm.
sections. So I did the whole course. I wrote it all out, how it was going to look. Then I did all the recording at once with the PowerPoint presentations, and then I did the editing. So I did it
Right.
in sections to make it easier. I don't know if that's how other people do it, because I'm still pretty new at this,
Yeah.
but
That's a great way to do
yeah.
it. When you can assembly line your work and make it into a very efficient process, that's a great way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, in our conversations, we talked about how last month you did pretty well with your course, right? Would you care to share how much you did on that?
Sorry, you cut out then. Did you just say how I did pretty well on my
Oh,
course? How did I do that? Is that what you said?
yeah, you did pretty well with your income last month, I think it was, with your
Yes.
singing course. So I know,
Yes.
like the way I've promoted this interview is saying that you did 4,500 in your first 2 months. But how about
Yes.
sharing a little update on how it's doing now?
Yeah, well, so I've had the course up for 4 months, and I've made just over $12,000, which is amazing. And when that converts to Australian dollars, that's actually $15,000. So it's better for me being an Aussie.
Oh.
But
That's
look,
great.
I am completely blown away. Honestly, it's been amazing. Even I'm amazed. But I have worked very hard. After I did those courses on how to do an online course, then I went on to how do you market your course, and that by far was far more overwhelming than the content, because every lecturer is going to know what they're talking about. It's how do you market, and I don't know about Google Analytics. I'm still learning all that stuff. So I did get a little overwhelmed. But one of the things that I do have is an audience. So my public Facebook page has about 6,000 people on it. And one of the things people said was to utilise Facebook, utilise your audience. And I have a mailing list as well. The mailing list probably only has 300 or 400 people on it, because I didn't know that you're supposed to grow a mailing list. I'm a creative musician, that kind of stuff, to be honest, is a bit boring.
Right.
and I had to change my mindset too, to you just get someone else to do all that other stuff. The industry across the board has changed, and people are able to do everything pretty much for their own businesses and farm out some of the stuff that's way too hard for us. There's some things I can't do, but generally for this course I've done everything myself. So I used my audience. So I experimented a little bit. I tried a Facebook ad, didn't work at all, didn't get one bite. And I got really discouraged by that. So instead I thought, I'm going to try some time sensitive sales and boost some of my Facebook posts. So I knew that they were going to my audience and also to their friends. And so I did a Facebook post that just said, I've got a course that's $199 for the next 3 days. I'm going to sell it for $50, but you have to email me personally to get a private link. Now that's an enormous amount of work, because I'm telling you, within an hour, I must have had 100 people email me, and I was on tour at the time. Wow. So I was getting all these emails on my phone, and I'm like, I didn't expect this many people to respond. So what I did is I created a code that I could just copy and paste while I was on the road. So I'd be like on the plane or in a bus or a car, and just go, if someone would email me their email address, I would email them back with the code and have a bit of a discussion with them. So I developed, I didn't become best friends with them, but I really want people to know that I'm interested in them. This isn't just about sales. So I got there, I was able to build my mailing list by doing that. But also, I think I must have sold, I think that month that I did that, I sold $3,500 worth of courses myself. So I was really proud of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And what I like about that story, Roma, is, as you've said, you're not a marketer.
No.
You don't know that much about marketing, and you feel like marketing is boring. And even with limited marketing knowledge, you're able to make $3,500 in a month with your Udemy courses. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So that's a testament to a couple things. Number one, the power of the Udemy marketplace to bring students to you for your course. Obviously, you had a quality course to start with. So you have a quality course, Udemy bringing you students because Udemy recognizes quality courses and will promote those. And then your own marketing efforts, which you were able to turn into a nice income and a nice ability to help your students as you go. And so I also like what you said earlier about how you were a little nervous about inviting people over to your home for coaching, their voice coaching and singing lessons and things like that, because some of them were fans as opposed to really wanting to learn and that kind of thing. So I could see there would be privacy issues there that you'd be concerned about. So this Udemy allows you to teach worldwide, right?
Yes, it's amazing.
And to anyone and everyone that wants to learn.
Well, I did a little bit of...
So that's awesome.
Well, I've currently got about 2,000 students in that course in 4 months. And I sat down the other day and tried to work out if I taught that many people one-on-one at home, how much time that would have taken. Right. And I probably would have had a nervous breakdown. So I was just like, wow. I'm getting emails from professional singers in the UK and all over the world asking questions, asking for more, more from the course.
Right.
I feel privileged that I'm able to reach these people. And I don't know if this is a marketing thing or anything, but one of the things that really got me thinking was there's only so far I can go with my own sphere of people. There's an end to that.
Right.
But with Udemy, there is no end.
Yep.
You know, it's not, people don't know about your course because they're attached to you or they know who you are. They know about your course because there's millions of students on Udemy, you know, and I know that there's lots to, that has to be factored in for that, in terms of where you come up in the search engine and all that kind of stuff. But I do believe, I sincerely believe if you're passionate about what you teach, you will do well. I really do. I think that's been key for me. Like, I do love it. I love seeing people, the lights come on, you know. So
Absolutely. And the other thing, as you were talking about having 2,000 students in your singing course, is how could you effectively take care of 2,000 students while you're on tour,
it's
right?
impossible.
As
Yeah.
as an actual professional singer, that would not be possible.
Mm.
Likewise, let me put that in the situation of a speaker or an expert, somebody who goes and speaks for a living and travels all over the country or all over the
Yeah.
world. That person wouldn't be able to have a very effective consulting or coaching practice if they're speaking all over the world and that kind of thing. But with Udemy, they can upload their course once, and then they get to help people over and
It's
over and over
amazing.
again. And
It's actually amazing.
those are some of the most, yeah, it is. It is. And those are some of the most fulfilling messages we get as instructors,
Yeah.
is when you know that you've touched somebody's life, you've helped them, you've contributed in some way. And it took so much less effort than if you were there face to face, one on one with them,
Totally.
but it still had that same impact to them. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So
Yes.
the ability to impact many people in a short period of time and leverage your impact is another one of the things that I don't think we talk about enough on Udemy. So that's exciting to
Yeah.
see. Well, what are some of the marketing tactics that have worked for you I know you just mentioned, building an email list, talking to your Facebook fans and things like that. Do you have any other marketing strategies that have worked for you?
Yeah, I think I see a lot of discussion on the Facebook pages in particular about not people not wanting to opt into Udemy's promotions, and because they might sell a course for $5 or for $10, and I have to admit, for someone who earns at home, if I did vocal coaching, I can earn. When I was vocal coach for the X Factor, for example, I was earning $100 an hour to teach those students. And so when you find out that Udemy wants to sell your course for $10, your initial reaction is, oh, there is no way I'm selling my course for $10. And I personally wouldn't sell my course to my networks for $10. But if Udemy wants to do it, because my course is worth $200, that's what it sells for, $199.
Right.
But I thought, I'm just going to try it out. I'm just going to opt in to their promotions just to see how I do. Well, I tell you, a course selling for $10 doesn't seem like much, but Udemy has, is it 6 million students? Is that right? 6 million, over 6 million students.
8 million and growing.
8 million and growing. So if you think about only 1% of those people buying your course, that's a lot of money when you don't have to do anything. So I tried it 1 month. In fact, this month in particular, I've done no promotion because I've been very busy with other engagements, and I'm already up to almost $1,600, and that's just been Udemy promotion. So that's money that I wouldn't have made, and I didn't have to do anything to make that happen. I didn't have to be in a room and teach a person to earn the money. So I'd really encourage anybody not to feel bad about that. Like, I just opted into everything and it's really worked for me. Oh, your sound has disappeared, David. Your sound has disappeared. Don't know what's happened. I might have to sing. Well, what? Whoa.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm thinking that
See,
we're having some internet connection issues here on our side too. So let me ask, can you hear me and see
I can
me?
hear you and see you now. And while I was doing that, I'm reading some of the lovely comments. Everybody wants me to sing. I don't know. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. That's very kind of you.
Wow, we've got two or three people saying sing.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe we'll do that towards the end of
yeah,
the
I'd be
interview. I would
happy
love to
to.
hear
I'd
your
be happy
voice,
to.
and that would be awesome.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, let me ask a couple other questions here. Is there anything that hasn't worked for you, or that you've tried that you thought would do
Yes.
well but didn't really do that well?
There's two things so far that haven't worked. Actually, three probably that haven't worked. One was Udemy coupon sites. I know that works for some people, but I did not get one bite on a Udemy coupon site. So I just gave up after a couple of months. I just thought this was obviously not my niche, not for my market. One of the things I did
Right.
notice, like on is it called Black Hat, for example? I think that's one of the biggest coupon sites. Was
Oh,
that it was
Black Hat
yeah,
Forum.
Black Hat Forum. I mean, a lot of those courses were how to make money or do this or do that. Weren't a lot of music related courses. And when I went to search for other places that had music related courses, I found that it was people promoting their own products on their own websites. So I kind of got a bit lost in for a long time, hours and hours of researching that, going, this is not the way to promote a music course. So coupon sites for
Right.
me didn't work. I tried some tweets with Fiverr.com. You know how you can use Fiverr to get a million tweets. That didn't work at all for me. Again, I think
Right.
because of the niche market that I'm in, it just didn't work.
Right.
And also just those Facebook ads didn't work at all, which was really annoying because it cost me money. But
Yeah.
I don't mind because I'm making a good living, so it's okay.
Right. Well, and all those things you mentioned, I think it really depends on the topic that your course is about, whether it'll work or not. And I have a thing about coupon sites. I think that coupon sites will work if you have a very broad appeal or a very mass appeal topic where anyone would, like, for example, let me give you an interesting example. Early on, maybe about a year and a half ago, somebody posted a course about how to get great deals at Target.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if you have Target stores
Yes.
out in Australia. Do you have
Yeah,
Target?
it's one of
Okay.
my favorites.
Yeah, well, Target's it's big. I'm pretty sure they're worldwide. And so this course was about how to get great deals at Target. Now, to me, that would be a perfect course to put on a coupon site because people on coupon sites are looking for deals anyway. That's their
Yes.
mentality, right?
Yes.
And why not put a course about how to get great deals at Target on a coupon site? However, if I put up my course on, how to teach on Udemy on a coupon site, it's a mixed match. It's not really matching the types of people that are going to the coupon site to get my course on teaching.
Yeah.
So I guess the idea with coupon sites is, like anything in marketing, you have to have what we call message to market match. So your message matches your market. If your message or what you're trying to sell doesn't link up with your market or doesn't appeal to your market, you're really spinning your wheels. You're wasting time with that form of marketing. So that should be the very beginning core of what we think about when we think about marketing. Am I getting the right message to the right people at the right time? And I add, in the right way. So right message to the right people is the core of it. If you're not, meeting that person's need for help, need for assistance, need for, in your case, vocal coaching and singing coaching, then you're in the wrong place. You shouldn't spin your wheels there. So and if we keep
Yeah.
that as a rule of thumb, I think that can really help overall anything that we do in marketing.